Well, hello again, everybody. This is David Royer, and we are going to get started. First of all, I want to thank you for taking your time to be on today. This webinar is scheduled to last for approximately 40 minutes. It will be recorded, so if you miss portions of it or if somebody unexpectedly shows up in your office, you will have the recorded webinar probably around mid-afternoon. So again, thanks for being on. And just a little bit of background, back in 2002, there were some major changes in the tax code that generated a tremendous financial planning opportunity for those that work in the qualified market arena. And beginning in 2002, I began to build the course Keys to the IRA Kingdom. And it's an IRA distribution / rollover course to teach advisors how to best handle rollover accounts with their clients and how to capture those large accounts. We launched the course nationally in 2005. And we've had in excess of 5,000 advisors attend the course. And what I do every month, I do these webinars, and they're educational webinars. And each month we pick a different topic. And today our topic is going to be about how to control RMDs. So this is going to be a bigger issue every year as we have more people that are turning age 70 and a half. And I'm sure you're experiencing this in your practice as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Incidentally, this web class is being sponsored by Insurance WebEx, and they are America's leading source of educational web classes. And because it's sponsored by Insurance WebEx, I have a nice surprise for you that if you can stay on till the end, we'll go over it then. The name of my company is DLCA Enterprises, LLC, and what we are all about is IRA 401k rollover success. It's about selling more annuities, more life insurance, more managed money to the owners of qualified accounts, including IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, and all other types of qualified accounts. What DLC Enterprises is not is we are not a field marketing organization. We are in the education and marketing business, and we'll be going over a couple of tools that you can use to help increase your IRA rollover business. Two of the tools that we've developed, the first one is the online course, Keys to the IRA Kingdom. It's an online IRA distribution training course. And we've also built another prop for you. I wrote the book, Top 10 IRA Mistakes and How to Avoid IRS Tax Traps. Now, the Keys to the IRA Kingdom is an IRA 401k rollover training system. It's online, and it's approximately 10 hours of training. The book, Top 10 IRA Mistakes, is part of an IRA 401k rollover marketing system. This book is designed to be given to your prospects or clients to disturb them about the many mistakes people are making with their IRAs and 401ks and driving them back to you to get a second opinion. Now, each month I have a featured subject, and today's featured subject is how do you combine annuities and managed money to help your clients control RMD disasters. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the market. Why would you want to focus your practice in the qualified market? Well, there's a lot of really good reasons. Number one, 401k plans have replaced defined benefit pension plans. And this is not a bad thing because back in the day of defined benefit pension plans, that money wasn't movable. You couldn't help your client move that money because they didn't own it. They owned the income. They owned the benefit. Well, now that 401k plans have taken over, that has all changed. We've got 10,000 boomers that are making IRA 401k rollover decisions every single day, and most of these boomers' 401k plans are worth more than the equity in their home, and that's just an indication about how important these plans are to them. We also learned that over 70% of 401k, 403b, and TSP plans allow for what's called an in-service rollover at age 59 and a half, which simply means they don't have to wait until they retire to protect that 401k that's in mutual funds. They can roll that to a safe money solution, typically after attaining age 59 and a half. We've got 4,000 seniors turning 70 and a half every day, and this is what we're really focusing on today. They're having to make IRA rollover decisions, and they need help, and they're not getting advice. LIMRA has estimated that there's $16.9 trillion in qualified accounts, and it's expected to grow to over $22 trillion by the year 2030. LIMRA also pointed out that the IRA rollover market is expected to increase to $515 billion a year by 2018. And folks, it's almost 2018. So getting back to the question, why focus on the qualified market? It's because that's where the opportunity is. And there's more to that. As I mentioned, Defined benefit plans are really a thing of the past. So boomers today are going to retire pretty much with their 401ks, or it could be an IRA or an SEP or 403b, and Social Security. So Social Security and 401k plans have really become the hot buttons for the boomers. And boomers will soon represent the majority of the retirement market. So get back again, what is the answer to that question? Why focus on the qualified market? It's because that's where the retirement market is growing. Now here is a chart, and it shows the trend of individuals age 65 and over, and it goes all the way back to 1900. Nobody's interested in that, but it's also projected through the year 2030. So if we look at where we are today, we have 10,000 boomers that are turning 65 every day, and they're making IRA rollover decisions. In less than 10 years, they are going to control the overwhelming wealth of this nation. And so I want to point out, this is clearly the biggest event in the history of the financial services industry. Never before has there been close to $18 trillion of money that is going to be changing hands, it is going to be rolled over, or it's going to be paid out to beneficiaries. So this is a huge financial event. So, and I want to point out something else. We're going to be talking about the difference between accumulation and distribution, but our focus is on distribution, and let me explain why. During the accumulation phase, when you and your clients were making deposits into your SEPs, your IRAs, your 401ks, life was really very simple. There was only three things you had to consider. One, are you eligible to contribute? Number two, how much can you contribute? And number three, where do you want to put the money? See, life was very simple. We were getting a tax deduction for the money, or we weren't paying taxes on the money that we were putting into these plans. So there wasn't a lot of IRS oversight. This changes when they go into distribution, and it changes dramatically because now it's IRS payday, and the Internal Revenue Code is strewn with landmines, and mistakes often can be very costly and for the most part irreversible. So we focus on the distribution phase. Now, where the qualified money is just as important as how much there is, and what we learned, and this is from the Investment Company Institute, 47% of this roughly $18 trillion is in mutual funds. Well, that's not surprising because all the 401ks and 403bs are invested in mutual funds. But did you know an additional 36% is invested in other securities? Banks and thrifts control a mere 10%, and insurance companies have roughly 8% in the form of annuity reserves. If you had the tools and you had the techniques to show your clients when they leave that accumulation phase and enter the distribution phase, an annuity administered by an insurance company may be the best custodian and the best product for at least some of their IRA. But if you add the 47% that's in mutual funds to the 36% that's in other securities, you'll see that 86% of almost $18 trillion at one form or another is at risk on Wall Street. And this has created a tremendous opportunity for annuity producers, life producers, and managed money producers. And that's what we're really going to be focusing on today. It's about how you become the IRA rollover expert in your market area. How do you get in front of qualified prospects that have these large IRAs and 401ks and other plans? And how do you attract and capture those accounts into your rollover accounts? And how do you become an expert in the 401k in-service transfer? Like I mentioned earlier, 70% of 401ks allow the individuals to transfer out of risk into a safe money solution after turning age 59 and a half. And here's the best part. They can still continue to make contributions and can continue to get company matching funds. So how do you use IRA and 401k rollover opportunities to grow your business? And this is what we're focused on. So we've built a system to help you. Part of it is the book Top 10 IRA Mistakes. It's a seminar. It's been referred to as a seminar in a book. You know, those of you that do seminars, I know that they're expensive. I know less people show up, and you really have to put on, you know, quite a meal to attract folks. Well, this is essentially a seminar in a book, and it's less than a 3-hour read. We've also developed 10 hours of online IRA distribution training. You'll see a little bit of that here when we get to the center part. And that's my course, Keys to the IRA Kingdom. So today's featured subject, we're going to get right down to it, how to combine annuities and managed money to control RMD disasters. Now, I'm going to draw from both the course, Keys to the IRA Kingdom, and some of the information is taken directly out of my book, Top 10 IRA mistakes. So I'm going to slow down a little bit during this section because I really think it's important that you observe this. Now, coming from the book Top 10 IRA Mistakes, mistake number 5 is having too much of your IRA at risk. Now, those of you that manage money, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's perfectly fine for folks to have their money in the market. We know that the market has really grown back since 2009. But this is having too much of your IRA at risk. So if you're going to need income, or your clients are going to need income from their IRAs, or if they want to leave a legacy to their family, the number one thing that can ruin their plans is risk. It's losing that money in a stock market downturn. So I'm going to go through 2 famous quotes that help make this point. The first one, the quote is this: "The most powerful force in the universe is compound interest." Many of you know that that was Albert Einstein that made that observation. And here's a more recent one. Rule number 1, never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. And that came from legendary investor Warren Buffett. You know, folks, in 2008, even Berkshire Hathaway had a very difficult time following rule number 1, rule number 2. Everybody pretty much took losses in 08 and early 09. But I'm going to go back to Albert Einstein. I want to talk about the power of compound interest. And to do that, here we're going to make an assumption. The assumption is if the year is 2000. Your client has $200,000 to invest, and they decided they wanted some diversity, so they were going to invest $100,000 over here, and we're going to call this the S&P account, and the other $100,000 in a fixed account, earning only 3%. Well, let's see what happened. During the first 3 years, the S&P dropped hard. In 2002, it lost 23% of its value. And that original $100,000 investment is now down to $59,000. This is kind of like the tortoise and the hare. At 3% compounded, the account value is $109,000. Now, when the stock market takes a drop like this, what has to happen to recoup your losses? Well, you need some good years of market growth, and that is exactly what we had. Look at 03 here. The S&P jumped up over 26%, 8%, 3%, 13.3%, and it worked. So by the year 2007, that S&P account was almost back to the original 100,000, but over here at 3%, it's 126,000. And then almost without warning came the great crash of 2008. The S&P lost 38.5% of its value. This 99,000 dropped down to 61,000, and over here in the fixed account, you're at 130,000. Now again, what has to happen when the market drops? To recoup your losses, you need some good market years, and we had 2 great ones in a row. 09, it went up 23%. 2010, it went up 12%. But those numbers were applied to the 61,000 that was left. So now, by the end of 2010, this account that started out at 100,000 has climbed back to 85,000 over here, 138. And then something I've never seen before, in 2011, the S&P was absolutely flat, no change here. And then we had 3 really great years, and that account grew back to 140,000. And 2016, it grew back almost another 10%. Took a little loss in 2015, grew back almost 10% in 2016. So that original $100,000 that was invested back in 2002 in that S&P account is now worth $152,000. Over here in the fixed account, it's $165,000. So it's really only a difference of $12,000. So that's not a dramatic difference. And you know, I could have taken a different snapshot of time, and the S&P account may have outperformed 6%. But here's my question. What about these years when the market dropped, 2000 through 2002, 2008? What if you had to take, if you were over 70.5 and you had to take out an RMD, but the market had dropped, there's less money in there? Let me show you what happens. There's really 3 choices. You can take your IRA/401k out of the market. You don't have to worry about what happens when the market drops. You can leave your IRA or 401k in the market, take your chances, and hope you get great gains. But this is what I'm going to recommend. Do a combination of both. Leave some of that money in the market to get those hopefully great gains, and take some money out of the market and get it safe, kind of like that fixed account at 3% or hopefully higher. So I want to introduce you to the concept of reverse dollar cost averaging. and how it pertains to required minimum distributions after they turn age 70.5. These RMDs are based on the account value as of December 31st of the prior year. So whatever my IRA balance was December the 31st of 2016, that's going to be the number used to calculate my required minimum distribution. So let's assume that there was $500,000 in the account as of December 31st of the prior year, and the owner is currently age 79. Now let's go back to 2008. Unfortunately, during that year, that account dropped to $300,000 during the year that the RMD was taken. Well, guess what? The required minimum distribution is still based on the account balance as of December 31st of the prior year, so it's going to be based on $500,000. Let me show you what happens. This is about the required minimum distribution. So we had a $500,000 account balance as of December 31st of the prior year. And the RMD percentage at age 79 is 5.13%, which means they have to take out $25,650. Now, incidentally, if they fail to take that out, they're still going to pay tax on it, and half that money is going to become an excise tax. So they really don't have any choice. So they take out the $25,600. So that's their distribution, $25,650. Remember, the market dropped to $300,000. So the RMD was based on $500,000, but when they finally got around to taking out that distribution in 08, there was only $300,000 left. So guess what happened? Instead of having to take out 5.13%, they actually wound up taking out 8.55%, and this account is now dropping fast. So what happened? The IRA owner was forced to sell via RMDs when the market was down. They sold securities at a low price. The required distribution should have been 5.13% at age 79, but because the market was down, when the distribution was taken, the owner depleted the account by 8.55%. And folks, if that happens a few years in a row, you can imagine what the outcome is going to be. So here's the problem. During accumulation, the IRA owner was in control. They didn't have to remove anything. If the market was down, they just waited for it to come back up. But during distribution or deaccumulation, the IRS forces the owner to sell because of the required minimum distribution, no matter what the current market conditions are. So what happens if you're forced to sell when the market's down, your losses are locked in, and ladies and gentlemen, that money's gone. That's the vulnerability of required minimum distributions. So let's look at the solution. How do we fix that problem? Yeah, my recommendation again is leave some of your IRA in the market and transfer some of your IRA into an annuity. And I'm going to use an example, and in this example, this individual has $500,000 in the IRA, and all of this money is in the market. So when you met this client, they had $500,000. It was all in their 401k or some other way invested in the market. So I'm going to introduce to you what is called the split-funded IRA. I'm going to show you how it works. Let's get back to your client. They have $500,000 of an IRA, and all of it's in the market. It could be in mutual funds, might be in a 401k. And when I meet this client, I'm going to recommend split funding. And here's how you do this. Leave half of that money, $250,000, in the market. Transfer or roll over the other half, $250,000, into an annuity. Now you have two IRAs, $250,000 in the market and $250,000 in the annuity. Now the difference is this account can lose value, this account cannot. So let's take this scenario. Let's just say during the year that you have to take your RMD, the market's down. Well, you can add these two together, these two buckets, and you still come up with $500,000, but you can take all the RMD out of the annuity bucket. This is called the rule of aggregation. When the market's up, by all means, you can leave your annuity alone, aggregate these two back to $500,000, and take the RMD for both out of the market account. So guess what you did? You're no longer forced to sell from your market account via RMDs when the market's down, but when the market's up, you have the opportunity to lock in your gains by taking all of the distribution out of that market account. And in using this technique, the split-funded IRA, your clients will never be forced to sell when the market is down. So, split-funded IRA, what did we accomplish? Well, number one, we've given our client financial agility when taking their RMDs. They can choose which account to take it out of based on the current conditions, and it also gives them the ability to react to current market conditions. And folks, when you're taking out RMDs, financial agility is the number one thing. You want to have choices based on current market conditions. So let's get back to IRA rollover marketing and IRA rollover training. The book, Top 10 IRA Mistakes, has been referred to as a seminar in a book. It shows your clients how to avoid these pitfalls. It's updated every year. It's been very effective in building relationships with CPAs and other professionals. It has its own website. It's www.top10IRAmistakes.com. Now, this prospecting book, why is it important? It's estimated $324 billion rolled from plans to IRAs each year. And remember, next year, that's scheduled to be at $500 billion. Americans have close to $24 trillion in retirement assets. There's 10,000 boomers facing rollover decisions every day without guidance. So this is the book that converts IRA prospects into clients, because it's going to help them understand why getting a second opinion from you can save them thousands in IRS penalties, prevent rapid taxation, and reduce excessive fees and loads, and most certainly not make those RMD mistakes. At the end of each chapter, the book, now we've made it interactive. Like, for example, at the end of the chapter about designating beneficiaries, there's a place where they can take notes. They can write down their areas of concern. On the other side of that page, they can write down any additional information they would like. So when you give them this book, you point out the fact that they need to make their notes, put their concerns, and write down any additional information that they'd like when you visit with them again. And when you come back, you're going to answer all of their questions, address their concerns, and provide whatever additional information they ask for. Very non-threatening approach. Now, we now do something that's kind of different. You can now have the book personalized with your photo and bio on the back cover. Now, don't misunderstand me. This is not co-authorship or ghost-written, none of that. If you'll notice, up here on the left, it says this book is provided by. So it's courtesy of or provided by. No, let me back up a second. To make these custom covers, there's a one-time charge of $90. That goes to Digital Book Designs out of Missouri. They do excellent cover work. If you are securities licensed, you can have your photo, bio, logo, all of this on the back cover, but we have to have your securities disclaimer down here at the bottom. So it's FINRA regulation. We sell the books in cases of 50 because we can get a good printing price with the custom covers. So it's $530.50 per case of 50 books, and that includes shipping. So once you take the shipping out, you're paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $9.50 per book. And incidentally, the book retails for $19.95. You can get them with the custom covers on the back with your information on an average price of $9.45 per book. Now, this is something new we did. We now can make the book where yours is the only photo on the back cover. Now, I want you to look at this particular cover here. This is Ron's cover. And you'll notice over here on the right, my face is on the front cover. Now, watch what happens when we take my face off the front cover. You notice how much more attention it attracts to Ron's photo. And again, it says provided by. We're not insinuating authorship, but the whole idea of doing this is to attract attention to the advisors. Let me show it to you. Oops, let me go back and show it to you again. So here it is with my face on the front cover. And when we took me off the front cover, it now looks like this and attracts more attention to Ron's photo on the back cover. So the IRA/401k rollover system, the complete system, is the seminar in a book. You can have it with your photo, bio, and contact information on the back cover. And you can take the Keys to the IRA Kingdom, which is 10 hours of online IRA distribution training. We're going to talk about that. The Keys to the IRA Kingdom, just a couple of years ago, we put it online, so it's on demand. So you can learn the secrets of IRA successful rollovers from the comfort of your office. It works on a computer. It works on a smartphone, an iPad. Is compatible with everything. I am your host throughout the 10 hours of training. You can rewind, fast forward, It's broken down into 5 2-hour modules. You can skip from one module, go back and drill down on an area where you really want to brush up on, so it's very interactive. So you can now attend the Keys to the IRA Kingdom online, on demand, and take the course at your pace. You'll have access to the training room 24/7 to get the 10 hours of IRA distribution training. And incidentally, you can go through the course as many times as you want to go through the course. Once you get your link, we don't turn it off. Now, within 24 hours of registering, you'll receive an email from my IT department. And in the subject line, it's going to say, your Keys to the IRA Kingdom training room is open. When you open up the email, you'll see a big link like this, Keys to the IRA Kingdom. It's actually a big blue link. And right below that is your username and your password. You just click on the link, enter the username and password. You can begin training immediately. So all training materials are going to be delivered within approximately 5 days after registration. And the training materials include a highlighted and tabbed and re-indexed publication 590. And this is a tool that you'll use with your clients to prove everything you're saying is accurate. You also get 74 pages of pre-taken typed notes with all the graphics, all the charts, and all the sales concepts that are inside of the course. All that comes in about 5 days. Now, the cost of my course is $12.95, but this is the special part I hope you stayed on to the end to see. Because this is being sponsored by Insurance WebEx, anybody who's on this broadcast or any broadcast sponsored by Insurance WebEx will receive a 50% discount on the course. And you might want to write this down. Excuse me. The promotional code is KEYS50. That's all in caps, KEYS50. When you click on online course register now, you put in that code, and your $12.95 drops to $647.50. So here's how you get started. And I'm going to give you my contact information at the end if you have questions. But if you just want to get enrolled in the course, go to this website. Excuse me, it's www.irakeys, just like car keys.com. www.irakeys.com. I'll just leave that up there for a second so you can write it down, irakeys.com. Then once you go in there, you'll be on my website. This is me in the upper right-hand corner. And you'll notice right below my photo, it says online course register now. You just click on that. You went to irakeys.com. You click on online course register now. That takes you into the cart, and you'll notice the course is at $12.95. But notice this. Enter promo codes on the next page. So all you have to do on this page is just click add to cart. Now, once you add to the cart, you'll see it's still $12.95. Down here under the blue lettering, this is where you type in the promo code, KEYS50. Now, this is a very important part because I get a lot of phone calls. People forget to do this. Right next to where you typed in KEYS50, there's a yellow button. It says promo code. You have to click that button to set the code. Watch what happens when I click it. It just took $647.50 off your price. Your total price to check out is $647.50. And from there, folks, you just proceed to check out. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and remember, it was recorded. You will get a recording of it. Hopefully it'll be sometime this afternoon, no later than Friday. But if you want additional information about the Keys to the IRA Kingdom online distribution training course, or you want to learn more about the top 10 IRA mistakes with your photo, bio, and contact information on the cover, I'm David F. Royer. You can reach me direct at 214-705-0124. Or you can email me, david@irakeys.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on today, and I hope you make the rest of 2017 a great ending and have a wonderful 2018. Thanks again. Hope to hear from you.